Welcome to ComicCast issue number 167, brought to you by Dwayne's World Comics and Games, 457 East Sullivan Street in Kingsport, Tennessee. They carry comic books, graphic novels, statues, toys, gaming merchandise, including miniature games, board games, and RPGs. Check them out, Dwayne's World Comics and Games, Kingsport, Tennessee. My name is Boogie Bentley.
And I'm Adam Wade Adams. Yeah.
I'm Jason.
This is Gaumer.
We are at ComicCast Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, wherever you get social with your media. Also, you are listening to this on YouTube via the S&B Network. Make sure you go ahead and smash that like button, share out the link. We've got a special guest joining us this week. My brother from another mother, actually just a brother from another podcast. My co-host, writer-creator, Antonio Brice. Welcome to ComicCast, buddy.
Hey, what's going on? Thank you for having me.
We are going to hopefully blast you with some questions. The live chat's starting to fill up here. I told him that you would answer any and all questions.
Oh, wow, that's
no pressure.
The beauty of the interwebs is if something came up, and although I can't imagine what would, but if something came up and I'm not comfortable answering it, obviously I would just move on. My
favorite part about ComicCast is we'll talk some comics, but it'll take a minute. Man, Bear Pig is in the chat. I know he's stoked to see Antonio here. He is a fan. I think he probably listens. I know he listens to Sexy Party, and that's what I want to talk about. Sexy Party. If you are an adult above 18, Antonio's got a fun little podcast. Gomer, you would dig it, called Sexy Party. What else do you do besides write comics and tell adult-oriented stories on the internet?
I mean, that's about it online. I mean, I don't know what to do. Yeah, I mean,
what about Antonio the person?
This is a fictional character. I'm not even here right now. I've completely made this up. So it's like I'm not even really black. I'm just fooling everybody.
Like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah,
that's it. Yes.
Antonio's a dude pretending to be dude playing another dude.
Yeah.
I still love that movie. It's great.
Something like that.
Oh, so good.
We got 11 hanging out in the live chat. They're starting to feed in. Guys, make sure you smash that like button, share out the link. Let's get some questions rolling in for Antonio. But I asked you a stupid question the other night after we got done with the wrestling council. You looked at me like I had three heads. I said, "Are you a comic book fan?" And you said, "What the hell? I write comic books." But then
hell, man?
You never. No, I had a point, and he didn't answer it. The point of the question was, "Are you?" I don't know that you read. Do you read anything current, or is it all old school stuff? What do you like to read when you go to read comics as a fan?
A lot of the stuff I've been buying now is older stuff, but it's all, I'm buying it in like graphic novel form. So obviously Batman White Knight. Bought that. I'll be getting Doomsday Clock when they finally get that fully collected in trade. Because it's taken. It was so delayed. I don't buy a lot of monthly books. Although now that I'm doing the crowdfunding, I've been supporting several of these crowd. I've probably supported like 30 some odd crowdfunding campaigns, and some of them are starting to show up at the house now, which is cool. I just got a matter of fact. Thanks right behind me here. Yeah, cool. Sketch cover from the great Billy Tucci.
Nice. That's awesome.
The creator of She. So yeah, boom. Zombie Sama, who he crowdfunded this earlier this year on IndieGoGo. He also had it on Kickstarter, and which I'm really excited. I wanted to support Billy. They're allowing us to use She variant cover on the sequel to Brand, which is going to be Brand Way of the Gun. One of the variant covers is right over my shoulder there, which is a take on the old Demi Moore Vanity Fair cover when she was pregnant.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. We're going to have 6 covers, but one of them will be separated. It'll be celebrating the 25th anniversary of She, and will feature She and my character, which again is over my shoulder, Dawn Craven. So, so that's I have a affection for Billy Tucci, and I know they're actually about to launch She Return of the Warrior. I think they're going to have it on both IndieGoGo and Kickstarter. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, what's the we're talking about your book Brand. What is the pitch for Brand? I'm going to pull up the campaign here. It's available on IndieGoGo. All the links for everything we're going to talk about are in the description. So get down there. If you've not backed it yet, check it out. What's the sales pitch for Brand?
Brand is a supernatural love story. It's centered on the Craven family, which would be David Craven, who bears a striking resemblance to myself.
I noticed that just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. And he happens to meet this crazy redhead by the name of Dawn, and they fall in love. And that's kind of, David's not human. David's not hadn't been human in, like, say, about the last 20 years when he finally meets Dawn. So what we're doing is I noticed as I was going through the different drafts of the story, a lot of people were asking questions. They really like Dawn. As you can see, she is rather easy on the eyes there. And you'll also see that little demon dog there by her side. It's a character named Morgan, who a lot of these characters will make their debut in this first issue of Brand. I see Man Bear Pig asking how's Brand coming along. If you saw the last backer update, because I've sent out like 20 backer updates, Caanan finished the principal art for the book about 3 weeks ago, and finished inks on the cover, finished inking up some of the pinups and stuff that the backers unlocked. And now we are coloring. We're finishing colors on the page. I think we've got like 6 pages plus the cover left to go. And then we'll be able to, add the font and go to print. So that is the goal. The only thing I would say about that is, like, it's looking like it's going to be Print Ninja, which is going to take a little while because I couldn't find a U.S. printer that would be able to match that type of price for the quality that, Print Ninja does. Pretty darn good job on doing that. But we've got about 4,000 books that are going to have to be printed. So
nice.
It's going to be interesting. So,
I love Caanan's artwork, obviously.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Good.
But we were talking about this book before you joined us tonight, and something that me and Gaumer were talking about is the characters. You have so many threads in this story. How many you put out a 21-page preview? That link is also in the description. If you guys, hey, this looks cool, this artwork's great, is it worth backing? You can go check out the 21-page preview, and it gives you a lot more closer look whether or not you would be interested in this book. How are you going to tie all these threads together? How many pages is it going to be when it's all said and done?
Well, this first story was supposed to be 48 pages. We've expanded that to 52. I know Way of the Gun is going to be a minimum of 60 pages. It might go to 80. It just depends. I just want to make sure that however we do the story, that it all ties together. And but like with this first story, we started 5 years in the past. So David and Dawn haven't met each other yet. So she's like 15 years old, and she's somewhere else, and he's down in Tennessee. He's in a fictional town called Havenwood that I've completely made up, but it's based on where I live right here in Tennessee, a place called Murfreesboro. So it'll like on the map, if you were looking for Havenwood, it would be where Murfreesboro, Tennessee is, except it's there. I guess in the Brand world, there is no Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It'll just be Havenwood. So, but David's a beekeeper there. I guess that's a guy's, but he actually is a beekeeper. He's on this big southern plantation that I call Everhart, and he's there. And at the beginning of our story, you see Dawn, and she's out there. She's hitchhiking because she's run away from home. You don't know why she's on the road, but she decided that. Hey, I don't need to be here. So we pick up right at the beginning, she's hitchhiking and she's in Wyoming, and someone happens to pick her up, and then they move on to Detroit, and she meets this international man of leisure, a pimp, a PIMP, a guy by the name of Fame. And so she meets Fame. So that's her story arc. We're gonna have three main story arcs. We'll have the Dawn storyline, the David storyline, and then we'll have the Covenant storyline. I'd say for this book, you've got 3 acts in this story, with Dawn and then the Covenant and David. So The most prominent one is David, because I really needed to get into his storyline. But you're definitely going to see Dawn and her interactions with Fame, and you'll start to see that Fame is connected to certain things. You know, I don't want to spoil too much, but Fame is definitely an interesting character, and we'll pick right back up with him in the next story, which is called Way of the Gun. So
you're cool with me sharing pictures from the 21 page from the 21-page preview. You're cool with that too, right?
Please.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it out there.
I'm gonna get that on the screen now. And look, that's a great idea. I told you that. I told you this with when we started the Wrestling Council. When you first released, I was like, this isn't my type of book. You released that 21 pages. I was like, I told Gaumer right before we went live, I said, this is so much more than just a magic type story. The characters that you've developed in 21 pages, that's what sold me on it. So I think it's brilliant to put out a 21-page preview.
It's so funny. I've got a lot of it was funny when we started to crowdfund last year, and a lot of people, you get a lot of backseat drivers. I hate to say, it's like, so I've had people go, "Hey, Antonio, I don't think this is a good idea for you to release these pages. I think people are going to pirate this, all this kind of thing." And to that, my thought process was, I kind of want them to pirate this, especially this preview, because no one knows who I am. Caanan's been published. He's been published at Image. He's done a ton of Zenoscope. He's got a ton of Zenoscope work. We had one of Caanan's fans tweet to him about a week or so ago, and he had done annual cover for the Phantom in Australia. There's whatever company publishes the Phantom, they have the rights to Phantom in Australia. They had hired Caanan to do a cover, and he did the annual cover, and it had the female Phantom on it, and the Ghost Who Walks. And he hadn't even seen the cover with the actual colors on it and everything. And so he was actually excited to see, because he's like, man, I hadn't actually seen what they did with the file when I turned it over to him. So, so a lot of times, once you complete the job, they don't contact you. They don't say, hey, here's the colors. They pay you, and you move on to the next. That's what it is. So he was kind of happy to see it, and he done that like 3 years ago, and he was like, oh, okay, so that's what they did with the colors.
I gotta get that check. I gotta find that check.
Absolutely. So but I mean, it's the preview, we worked really hard on it because it was just, we did not realize when we started, Caanan's been hired to do a lot of comics, but he's actually part owner on this. This is a creator-owned series, and I mean, there's a lot of work. As you've seen, we've raised almost $75,000. And man, there's a lot of work to be done in these books. All my guys on the team are pros. I've got like 40 years of comic book experience on my staff right now. Just making sure I'm just really proud of how everything turned out. And all those people that told me that it was a mistake to release the preview were all, I've noticed several other crowdfunds copied off what I did, and they've released little previews of their books because they saw that I generated an additional $5,000 in sales just from people being able to read the preview. So I mean,
it's a great idea.
It helps. Look at the Deadpool test footage was supposedly leaked. Quotations, and look what happened from that leaked footage. So from what I understood, the footage was leaked, but it was actually leaked by Ryan Reynolds. He was one of the main ones that leaked it. Exactly, but I mean, he got it out there.
Because they had
what happened.
They weren't ever going to show the footage. He was trying to get the movie made. They said he'd been trying to get it made for about 4 or 5 years at that point. In fact, the guy that if you actually see that footage on YouTube, which has been seen like about 100 million times, at the end of the little clip, he goes, "Hi, Tom," and I can't remember that guy's last name, but he's over at Sony now. He's the guy that's over at Sony now. He was at Fox at the time, but yeah, he's the guy that was kind of there when Marvel and Sony were having a problem with the Spider-Man deal. You know, and so they were like, "Oh man, he may not allow this to actually go down." So I just.
It may have meant a certain Tom at that time, but now it means Tom Holland. So
yeah, well, there you go. Hi, Tom.
The art is so good in this. It's such a great idea that he had this preview, because I think a lot of people are worried when they go to a Kickstarter, like, oh, there's a few like preview pages or pictures, you know, like, okay, that looks pretty good, but what are you actually going to get into when they get to the comic? And here it's like, it's solid all the way through. It's not just for one panel or one page. It's just amazing all the way through. I can totally tell, like, you know, I'm sure you're still raking it in because it's so good. It looks so good,
and you get a real taste of the story that you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Pages, you're gonna get just the tiniest hint of what's gonna happen. But in this, you're in it, and that was my biggest takeaway from it. I wanted more after this. If it had been 5 pages, I would have been like, yeah, that's good, but I'm into these characters. I want to see what happens.
Let me put Gomer on blast. I'm gonna put Gomer on blast real quick. I sent them the link and said, here is the 21-page preview for Antonio's book, and Gomer responds and says, "Great, I can't wait to rip on this."
Yeah.
This is behind the scenes talk. Nobody saw this. He just sent it to our private chat. We get in to do our pre-show. Nobody's on. Antonio's not on. And I was like, "Gomer, so did you hate it?" He's like, "No, dude, I loved it. This was great."
I loved it.
He said, "I want to see how he ties all these threads together." So that's a little inside baseball to what we talked about off air, but facts are facts, man.
Yeah.
So the proof is there. I hope you guys will check out the links in the description. I'm telling you, Antonio is so close. Like he said, where are you at right now? 74, 843. Let ComicCast be the small little show that nobody knows about that pushes it over the 75,000 mark. So I can claim that. That's all I want to claim.
Well, I mean, hey, we appreciate all the support. But the big thing, and I wanted to actually answer Yuli Carter. I see the question. Is this self-contained story? I would say that there won't be too many dangling threads, because like I said, I kept it to those 3 storylines. By the time you get to page 52, you will know where Dawn is heading into Way of the Gun. You will kind of get left off to see, okay, there's some other stuff that will be introduced with David's storyline going towards Way of the Gun. But his is the biggest chunk, because obviously you see some beekeeping and stuff like that. But as you see the preview, they're going to look for another hunter by the name of Jacob, who was one of David's students. And it's him and David's other student, William, and they're going to look for Jacob. So some of the other preview pages that I've shown on the backer updates, you'll actually see Jacob, and Jacob's in a situation. So we need to get Jacob out of that situation. But him and David are estranged for different reasons. David is kind of impulsive, and when they were training, some things happened. And so Jacob's like, yeah, I don't really rock with this dude, even though he taught me everything I know. And it's especially when we go into like Way of the Gun, you'll see that like Jacob and William are very close, but they have differing opinions when it comes to David. Like William is very loyal to David, and David kind of looks at him like he's like a son to him, because he doesn't have any kids, and because it's forbidden and the whole thing. So I'm really excited, especially for once we get this one to get the files to print. I'm very much looking forward to launching this Way of the Gun, because I definitely want to pick back up and kind of let everybody see. Okay, because I mean it's going to pick up immediately after this first book. So it'll be maybe a day or two after this first book. I'm not, because the reality is I have to, one thing that's going to happen in Way of the Gun is that David and Dawn are actually going to meet each other. They'll actually finally meet each other, so I have to kind of jump ahead a few years so that we can see adult Dawn as opposed to little small teenage pickpocket Dawn. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans for any media crossover kind of stuff? I love it when different medias mix and match and do things I don't know, maybe you want to set up a card game or something, Is there another merchandise thing kind of going to happen as well?
Well, actually, there's a gentleman that I'm friends with, a guy named Jeffrey Thompson, and he works for a video game company, and he's also a writer and something. And he read the preview, and he was blown away by it. He was like, "Yo, you really have some opportunities here. You could actually do video games and different things."
That'd be awesome. The Witcher. The Witcher just blew up because of video games. You know what I mean?
Right.
The whole creator is so mad because he sold the rights for so little. He's not getting any of this movie money or anything else. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, you're gonna make a game? Yeah, go ahead, do whatever you want for a couple bucks, whatever. Get out of here." And then now it's just blowing up to epic proportions, and he's so mad about it. So be careful. But at the same time, that's so great. That's so great.
The good thing is, I was able to actually form an LLC when we started getting the funding in, and because that was one of the biggest pieces of advice that I got. It's like, hey, when all that money comes in, make sure you form an LLC. So I definitely did that. Hey, there are legal consultants that I have access to.
Right.
So I will make sure whatever opportunities, I'm getting all these requests to do different interviews and all that kind of stuff. So there might be something coming up in a pretty big publication in the next few weeks, just depending. I can't say more yet because we're getting opportunities. I'm really happy,
especially in this age when everything is becoming a TV show on a streaming service. From the big Netflix all the way down to the Crackle and all that stuff.
Well, I mean, Crackle's small, but it's owned by Sony. So
yeah,
which that's funny. Caanan actually has he has a comic book that he participated in that's being developed at Sony right now. A book called Son of Shaolin. It was done at Top Cow Image, and it was written by a gentleman by the name of Jay Longino. And let's see, Jay Longino. There's a movie called Uncle Drew that came out. I think it came out in 2017, maybe 2018. Yeah. But if anyone saw Uncle Drew, it's got the NBA stars like Kyrie Irving, Shaquille O'Neal's in it. They all dress up like old men and they go to the court, they dunk on people, do the crossovers, do all this kind of stuff. But Jay Longino did that movie. It did low budget on thing, which I guess Hollywood low budget, a few $1 million as opposed to like 50, 100 million,
Right.
But you don't really, all you need is a basketball and a camera to go in in some prosthetic makeup. So but Jay wrote a story called Son of Shaolin, which, if I'm not mistaken, the story is about a kid. He's like half black and half Asian and living, I think, in Harlem. And then there's some kind of some definitely martial arts aspects on it, but that comic book, the rights to that were optioned by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and that's being developed over at Sony right now.
Nice.
So Caanan's got that going on. He also worked with Max Brooks, the writer of World War Z. He's also the son of Mel Brooks. And
I did not know that. Cool.
But Max Brooks, that wrote World War Z, he did a book called Harlem Hellfighters, and they did that. They did that about 4 or 5 years ago. And I think that was over at Avatar Press. And that got optioned by Will Smith's company. That's supposed to be like a little mini series. I think it's going to be on the History Channel. Oh. And so, that's the Harlem Hellfighters, about the black fighting unit from World War II, I think. So But
awesome.
yeah, there's so many Harlem Help, but you know, all those books can be purchased on Amazon. Like I said, where I saw Caanan, he was working with Kyron Gillen on Uber, you know, so I think he did about 16, 17 issues of Uber or something like that. So a lot of that, you know, which I know him and Kyron are actually, Kyron also has a book called The Wicked and the Divine. I know that's getting, I don't know which channel that's going to be. I mean, he sold the TV rights to that or something. They're going to turn that into a TV show. But, you know, also Kyron wrote like Journey into Mystery and some of the little Marvel Star Wars stuff that's out now and all that kind of thing. But Kyron's a brilliant writer. Big fan of his stuff. And, you know,
out right now.
Yeah, he definitely liked Caanan. And like I said, if you see some of the old stuff that they did on Uber, it was just supernatural World War, you know, World War II guys with, you know, in the Nazi Germany, but they have like super powers and stuff like psionic abilities and all this kind of stuff. It's just people just getting arms and limbs ripped off. So that's one thing I liked when we got into the action part of Brand, where you start seeing people getting their arms chopped off. Caanan was all for that. He seemed to have more of a problem because Brand is definitely mature readers. And I explained that to Caanan, and I was like, you know, we get into certain sections where, you know, there was, you know, like I said, Fame's a pimp. So we go back to his place. There's a scene called the Hall of, you know, where I call Fame's little bat cave the Hall of Fame. And it's basically a little tricked out like stripper club or whatever. He's got hot tub in there, flat screen TVs, people in there gambling and stuff. You know, he's got, you know, it's the whole deal. And me and Caanan kind of had some knockdown, drag outs on, you know, some of the.
I noticed you put the character that looks like you is hooking up at the hot chick and the booty shorts. I did notice that you wrote that into the story. Come on.
And people ask me about that, but Fame, you know, David was always supposed to be me, but it's also kind of a nod to Billy Batson, Captain Marvel, where you notice that he goes from being fat guy like me to being this big hulking dude that's not fat, you know. So it's like all of a sudden, I really wanted to play with that because, you know, that's. You know, you talk about Brie Larson or any of the, but when I think Captain Marvel, the Captain Marvel I grew up with was Billy Batson. That's the original Captain Marvel.
Agreed.
Yeah, so that's I hate when people call him Shazam. Now, I was talking to somebody the other day, like, you mean Shazam? I was like, no, I mean Captain Marvel. Look
at Adam's got something for you. There you
go. Adventures of Captain Marvel.
Yeah, 1941.
Awesome.
Yeah, big fan. Captain Marvel. I love Captain Marvel more than I love Superman, you know. So, and some people look at me like, why would you say that? But I was like, no, Captain Marvel to me, I don't know. It was just, I could identify with the fact that and you know, historians will be able to tell you that's why DC sued, which I think was Fawcett Comics at the time. That's why they got sued, because they had built a better mousetrap. They had actually figured out how to out Superman.
It's a way more interesting character. You know, it has way more dynamics. You can do so much more with the character that no one has done yet. You know, like, it's so good. You know, you have the whole entire kid aspect. You know, you can bring in young audiences. You have the older aspect. You can bring in older audiences. It's a perfect character, and like no one has done anything to the extreme with it because of licenses. You know,
well,
because comics are supposed to appeal to kids. But in Superman, you have him. I guess you have him going as Clark Kent, going to a day job. It's like
works in a newspaper.
Doesn't have a day job.
Do you think comics are really supposed to appeal to kids? Yeah, comics sell to adults. How many kids do you know that have money to go buy comics?
Well,
that's exactly what I said.
No, back in
the day when they were a quarter and not $5.
That's what bothers me. Like writing nowadays with like Bendis writing action comics. He uses dialogue where there's like, oh yeah, and then like I did this, and then like this, and he's writing for teens, but like I don't know any teens that are buying comics. They're all watching porn and playing video games. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so it's like, why don't you write for your real audience? Write for like 25 plus adults. You know what I mean? So what are you doing? You know, writing like this because it's annoying reading that. So
if there are teens in it, like with that mindset, they're not reading comics. They're probably playing D&D.
Right.
or something along those lines. They're not buying Brian Michael Bendis.
Neither are
Yeah.
you. So
Can you imagine though, like a black label? Can you imagine a black label Captain Marvel Shazam book? Like,
sign me up, bro.
That'd be amazing.
Sign me up. Well, let me ask you this, because this is a fun question for me to always ask indie writers. But is Captain Marvel, would that be your dream job if you could write any character?
Yeah, good question.
Would it be Captain Marvel, or what would be your go-to?
Oh, if I could work, like say, if I could work with Caanan on Captain Marvel,
yeah, that would be your dream job.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing.
Man, I would love that
art. Jeez.
Oh yeah, dude, sign me up.
And we're talking Shazam Captain Marvel, not Captain Marvel from Marvel Comics.
Yeah, the original Captain Marvel. Right?
Yeah,
that's the one. Not even Marvel. I was like, although I liked Mrs. Miss Marvel. I used like Chris Claremont. I liked the way that's one thing. Like when they go back and they show those old, images of the way Carol Danvers used to look and the old, and I love that. That's the throwback.
Totally.
Man, here's a good question. Here's a follow up to Boogie's question. On the opposite, I know everyone loves a paycheck and you would want to work in the industry, but is there a character that if someone said, we want to give you this character, you would say, no, thank you?
Antonio's like, nope, I want a paycheck.
Well, I don't know. I'd probably try to finagle it into something else because I've always found Iron Man to be a little, just because I don't like Iron Man's rogues gallery, and I noticed that they start a lot of times the writers that take over Iron Man don't like the rogues gallery because they end up just taking the main villains from Marvel. It's like, hey, let's bring Venom over. Let's try that. Yeah, Venom's infused with the Iron Man armor. They kind of, they'll do that, or But there are, there's a lot of cool Marvel villains. But what was it? They had like Red Dynamo or Crimson Dynamo and all. Yeah. Some of those Iron Man villains, Whiplash is okay, although I didn't really love the way they did him in Iron Man 2.
No one did.
I kind of liked it, but I like Sam. I like Sam Rockwell is my shining gem in that movie.
Yeah, man, he needs to come back, man. He really needs to come back. Like, I would love to see him again. Totally. Now that Stark's dead, have him take over.
I see what you're saying though, Antonio, because it's like I always thought Whirlwind had like the coolest armor, but he was just a throwaway villain. Yeah. There was nothing special about him, but I always thought he had cool armor.
Well, another thing about Iron Man's villains is it seems like a huge majority of them have just stolen Tony Stark's technology.
Like, Tony Stark making up for his lack of security. Thanks a lot, billionaire. Keep tracking
Which is why I want to read the Iron Man now, just because they brought back Pimtron. So I want to know what happened to Pimtron before, after Infinity Wars. He died in Infinity Wars in the prequel before it started. I'm like, how did they bring him back?
I thought you were saying Pimtron.
Everything's built into this Iron Man 2020 armor.
I don't even know if they explained that in the story. I doubt they did. They probably was like, oh yeah, I'm Dan Slott. Pimtron's here now.
Yeah, exactly.
But does anything in Iron Man matter now that
I don't know? Jim Zub was helping out on that. But
as long as Zub's there, I'm down.
Yeah, that Iron Man 2020 is going to take over everything. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap Antonio up and get him out of here. I'm gonna reshare the preview real quick and give us the Chad Johnson's here. He showed up late. He's our diehard fan. So let's sell Chad Johnson. Tell us the elevator pitch for brand one more time. You can back it on IndieGoGo. All the links are in the description. Antonio, break it down. Tell them what it's about.
Well, it's a kind of a supernatural love story, but it's centered on the Craven family, and the Cravens, as you will see when we get deeper into the lore of brand, David and this young lady here, who is at this point 15 years old, and will in the next book she'll be an adult, and she'll end up falling in love with David and becoming his wife. They're supernatural hunters. I was a big fan, especially coming up in the 80s. There was a television show called Friday the 13th. And that's kind of a big influence on Brand, where the whole premise of Friday the 13th, it had absolutely nothing to do with Jason Voorhees. They threw a hockey mask in one episode just so everybody like, oh, there's Jason's hockey mask. But it was ran out of this antiquity shop called Curious Goods. And the gentleman there had made some kind of Faustian deal with the devil. And the whole, in exchange for his soul, he was given like hundreds and hundreds of cursed objects that he could sell to different people. And he kept this ledger of everyone he sold these items to. It'd be like a blanket, a comic book where you'd open it up and like cursed out. So you're going to see stuff like that in Brand. In fact, I did, since I actually showed this on a preview, I don't feel like it's much of a spoiler. The character Fame actually has a cane that the cane, you won't see it in the preview, but when we get in the middle of the story, when we actually pick that back up again, you'll start to see that cane is more than just a cane. And I'll, get more in depth in that in the sequel and everything. So it's a lot of these characters you'll see, like I said, cursed items, and the idea is for these hunters to go around and retrieve them. So that is, in fact, in the preview, Penance and David, they're talking about this mission to go rescue Jacob, and they're going to this auction. They got a tip that there's a bunch of cursed items that are up for sale at this auction, and that's where Jacob was, sent to find out what was going on. And for whatever reason, he has not reported back to Vargas. And Chad, yeah, you can definitely get a digital copy. It's just $10, and that's for the whole 52 pages. But obviously, you can read the first 21 pages of the story for free. I've got it right there on the IndieGoGo.
Yeah, or you can just go to Antonio's Twitter at Akari Press. All these links are in the description. Antonio's Twitter's in the description. The IndieGoGo campaign's in the description. But if you go to his Twitter profile, it's the pinned tweet. The 21-page preview is the pinned tweet. You can click on it, download it, read it all. Chad's drunk, so we got to bear with him. We changed the show from 2 to 7. Chad is always drunk, and that's fine. That's why we love him. On it. But yeah, you can get it digital.
Stay away from stairs, please.
Mm-hmm. But no more stairs, Chad. No more stairs.
This is when we attack Chad's wallet. Click that link. He just followed Antonio. Now you need to go to IndieGoGo and back the campaign. Let's get him over 75,000. I want to see you over 75,000. Yeah. Like this campaign, man. I've been watching it for a long time. The last thing before we get you out of here, you got several perks available.
Yes.
What you got the featured perk here, the Santana Baby triple cover pack. What can they get there for $35?
Well, we've got a total of 4 variant covers, but one of the fourth one is a sketch cover that was just a limited edition, where as you can see, I think what was it at 60,000, we unlocked Caanan's signature, because a lot of people were like, are you signing this book? And I was like, I'm definitely signing, but they were like, well, is Caanan signing? And I was like, Caanan lives like 600 miles away from me. So what we're going to do is fly Caanan down, and he's going to come down and stay with me for a week, and he's going to do the sketches and do all that. But the Santana Baby triple cover pack has Caanan's cover. It has a cover by a gentleman by the name of Manasseh Johnson, who is not a comic book artist. He's just a dope artist that I found online, and he had done some work for like Kevin Hart and a few other celebrities and stuff. And I figured I was like, I wanted something different. It's easy to just reach out to famous comic book artists and say, hey, will you do this or will you do that? And so I wanted to actually, someone that I just thought was dope. So I had Manasseh do a Darn Craven variant for me in his style. It kind of has like a manga look. It looks really cool. And then I reached out to another gentleman by the name of Chris Bradbury, and he did what you see there in that little thumbnail, which was a remake of a Stanley Lau Art Germ Catwoman cover, they had him do. I think he got hired to do like 20 DC Comics variants, and he done a bunch of like Supergirl and Catwoman. He did one with Catwoman where it looked like she robbed Santa Claus, and I said this would be perfect because we have the Santa Claus doppelganger in brand Dark Santana. So Dark Santana is not in book 1, but he will be making his debut in brand Way of the Gun. So you will see. So yeah, that's Dark Santana, and so he'll be in book 2. He's actually, although he is on Caanan's cover, Caanan did a really sick cover that we've tweeted out. I've got to do another backer update because I've got to send the final inks to. I want the backers to see what the final cover is. But the cover that Chris did is the Stanley Lau cover, where in place of Catwoman you have Dawn Craven, and then she's got instead of Santa Claus laid out, knocked out with the bag of toys, it's Dark Santana, and then we've got and she was holding up a cat ornament, and in my preview on my cover she's holding up an ornament of Horus, who is, David has the masked Penance in brand, but before Penance was working with David had another mask named Horus, and Horus kind of took a tour to the dark side and teamed up with Dark Santana. So you will definitely you'll see Horus and you'll see Dark Santana in Way of the Gun. So but that mask right there is Penance. That is who David forged to replace Horus after Horus went all nasty on it. I mean, I'm about to say, if you scroll down, I know you showed that earlier, where they have Dawn Craven captured. You'll see Horus right over. Yeah, there you go. That's Horus right over. That's Horus right over. Santana's shoulder there, and he is definitely not a nice. He hates David with a passion, and. Him and Santana are not. I kind of had like some violator tendencies. I always loved, Todd McFarlane's violator clown and all this. Like, so I kind of had some.
That Spawn feel. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have plans for an opposite of that? I'm sorry. What's the mask guy character name again?
Well, you've got like I said, the one that's with David now is Penance, and then you've got I said, Horus was the original.
Okay. Do you have plans for like maybe like another one that is like the exact opposite of him? Because I know it's like a smiling mask, but he's evil. Do you have one for like a sad mask that's like good or something? Like a opposites kind of thing.
That's where the beginnings of it came from. It was the
nice.
What is
the
it?
Drama masks,
the actors. Where they was like the happy and the. That's actually the stuff that I sent Caanan when we were developing all this.
Cool.
But we just wanted, I didn't want those. I wanted Horus's, just to be. He's just basically got like the black under his eyes because what I based Horus's design on the movie Dead Presidents.
Oh, sweet! It's awesome.
See, they got the white, and then I was sending them. Cool. I was like, I want That's that, awesome. But I want it like in a sinister mask form.
Dude, you gotta have that president's bank robbery scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good. So also like the Belly nightclub scene, also.
But see, one of those, so that's where we get Horus from. That's why they've got he's just kind of he's got that little sinister grin and just the little black. And I was like, he's like, that seems kind of simple. And I was like, yeah, but that's what when I explained it was Dead Presidents, he was like, oh, Dead Presidents is dope. And then so he was cool with it. And then so we came up with an opposite design for Penance. David created Penance out, coming out of a pretty severe tragedy that, we'll get more into in the next book and stuff. So he did not want Penance to look anything like Horus, so that's why we have the markings and all that kind of stuff. So he just wanted to make him look different. So.
The live chat is filling up now, and everybody is loving this artwork. But that's an ongoing narrative. Caanan White is so talented. Adam Hempstein says, "I need a bigger phone screen for this."
All
artwork.
right, dude, so good.
Chad Johnson's digging it, but Chad wants to know it's an ongoing ComicCast theme, so you can answer it short, and then we'll move on. But Antonio, what's your favorite Rocky movie?
What was it? Rocky 3 with Mr. T.
Clubber
Nice.
Lang.
Hulk Hogan's in that too. Hulk Hogan.
That's my solid number 2. Yeah.
Comic Book Bob is hanging out as well. One last question, then we'll get you out of here. Guys, if you go to the IndieGoGo campaign, again, the link is in the description. It's pretty self-explanatory. You can get a digital copy for $10. Again, that's what, Antonio, 54 pages? 52 pages for $10. You can get a signed copy, which this is what I backed, but I'm now thinking I need to change my what I did. $15 for a signed copy, and then it's self-explanatory from there. 5 copies, 10 copies, 25 copies, however you want to go about it. What can you expect with the brand director's commentary for $5?
Oh, me and Caanan will do that when he flies down. That's going to be me and him. We'll take a digital copy of the book and flip through each page, and kind of Caanan will give his insights on, hey, this is what I was thinking when I drew this. Because sometimes when I gave him the script and we were talking about different pages, how it turned out and how it was supposed to be are a little different. And sometimes it was for the better, and sometimes, we had to have him go back and dial it. Like I said, me and Caanan had, especially when it came to, Caanan has absolutely no problem drawing like severed heads and limbs and all this kind of stuff. But then you go, Caanan, she's a hooker. She's supposed to be nude. And he didn't, all of a sudden he's like, man, I got kids, man. I'm not drawing that. And he's just like, and I was like, I'm showing him a page. I was like, you just drew a werewolf getting his head literally decapitated with blood going all over the,
right.
And all this. He's like, and he was like, yeah. And he said, I got to be honest, I drew a lot of people getting their arms and stuff ripped off in Uber. That was one of the things when he worked with Karen Gillan on Uber, they were always blowing people up. And he has, if you ask him to draw something violent, actually in the preview, you showed when that police officer got his brains blown
out. Oh, gosh, that's so awesome, though.
But he draws the line at hoo-haws and bat wings.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I think we found a happy medium when we did the Hall of Fame, that Hall of Fame scene. But my God, it was an adventure. Getting Caanan.
Don't say happy medium. You'll make some guys out there self-conscious.
But yeah, that's I don't know.
You're welcome, Boogie.
I've explained. I was like, Caanan, you do realize, there's going to be like sexual situations, all kind of stuff. Like, especially, I don't want, like, David and Dawn are married. They're going to have, we've already shown like some of the sketches of their kids that are going to come later. Kids are going to be like stupid powered. The Craven children are going to be awesome. I can't wait to finally get into those stories and get to telling, because the 2 Craven kids, Rosalind and William, they both look like my niece and nephew. So it's like, there's so many people in brand, and especially in his first book and going into the next, that will have faces of real people, like Dawn's uncle, Malcolm. He has the face of one of my best friends in the world, and there's like 13 people that paid to be drawn into brand as different characters. So I've been sending them. That's awesome. So there's so many real people that we use their likenesses in the book, and so it's really cool. I'm really proud of when I got page 52. Like I said, we still got like 6 pages to color. Hopefully I'll be getting another one tonight, because I got one this morning. But hopefully, yeah.
I keep saying last question, but yeah, last question. If you back this campaign, when can you expect it to have it in your hands, and when can you expect to be able to back Way of the Gun?
Well, that's a big thing that I've been, because trust me, we've got almost 2,400 backers, which I did not expect. So 2,400 people. I get a lot of questions. That's a big thing, because my original intention was, I said, hey, because we thought we'd have the book out a few months ago, and it's just taken so long. that's another reason why I released the preview, because you start having people go, man, you guys are scheming and scamming and not, you're not really making a book, and Antonio spent all the money. And then all of a sudden I released the preview and they go, oh, he really is making a comic book.
Nice.
I was like, I noticed that shut up a lot of people that said the book wasn't coming out. And all this.
Very good.
When you actually show something and they go, whoa, okay.
Yeah, it shuts up the naysayers.
Yeah. I mean,
that's another aspect of putting out that extended preview that would have never occurred to me. But yeah, that stops a lot of the bad word of mouth that you might get even before you hit your goal. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, I had people, they was like, I've heard you spent all the money, you did this, you did that, and I was like, nah, I'm trying to do legitimate business here, and I want to be able to create comics long term. So, having that preview and being able to actually show it, I look for some cheap US printers. And if you're only going to print like 300 or 400 copies, there's a lot of places that they're like, hey, we can turn it around in less than 2 weeks and get it right out to you. But when, like I said, we've got like 4,000 books that have to be printed, so it looks like we're going to have to do Print Ninja, which Print Ninja has. I've got several books that they printed, and they were all amazing quality, and looks like. About $6,000, and we'll be able to get everything printed. But it takes almost 2 months to come all the way back from China unless you pay for it. And it costs like almost an extra $3,000 to do the expedited. So I was like, okay, so that's one of those things where, I've been letting backers know. I was like, hey, when we get the print file, it's gonna go to Print Ninja. But one thing I talked about with Caanan, what we're probably gonna do. Once the print file is out there and we release, we shut the campaign down, we're probably just going to release a digital file of the entire book to all the backers.
Yeah, cool. That's not a bad idea.
That's you'll get a digital PDF, because we've got almost 200 people that bought the digital copies anyway.
Awesome.
And so we have to fulfill those. So we'll get that, but the other people that bought the physical rewards, the sketch covers and all that stuff, just to kind of tide you over until you can actually get your physical copy in your hand. We had t-shirts and stuff that are no longer up for sale. Those were limited edition. So once we start shipping those out to people, then, we'll launch Way of the Gun, but it'll take, once we get the print file done, it'll take 6 to 8 weeks, I know, is what Print Ninja has been telling us. So it's insanity, but it's coming.
Nice.
Well, a lot of guys
awesome. That's exciting.
Are talking about it. I think I can maybe sell Gaumer and Jason on it. Adam hates comic books. That's another story for another day.
Adam, join us, man. Join us.
But I'm hoping.
One of us.
We'll see some sales here, because everybody's nothing but praise. Nothing but praise in the live chat. Antonio is my co-host on the Wrestling Council, which you can catch every Thursday night at 10 p.m. This week we will be at Akari Press. Yes. On YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to be talking about the Crown Stool and some other wrestling action. But tune in this Thursday at 10 o'clock. We'll be talking more wrestling. But Antonio, like I said, I've got all the links in the description, but throw some plugs at us. We'll get you out of here, and then we'll move on.
Well, I mean, you don't pretty much hit everything.
I'm a good host. I know.
Yeah, but like I said, if anybody is interested in like linking up with me, or they just want to, talk about comics or anything, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and YouTube, all at Akari Press. It's all streamlined. So that's one of those pet peeves of mine when people reach out to me about like doing social media and crowdfunding. I was like, you can't be like Astro Boy 4022 on one, and it's like, I was like, if you type in Akari Press, it's going on any of these social media platforms, it's gonna come to me. So nice. That's something I've tried to do. So I highly recommend streamlining it so that regardless of what platform you're on, boom, it comes right to me. So
I know this is off the script, but is Antonio able to stick around for the rest of the show, or nah? It's not like that.
I doubt he read anything that we're going to talk about.
I don't want to throw it out there. I like hanging with him. So.
Well, I mean, yeah, I've enjoyed. This has been. He was like, hey, I'll just have you come on for like half an hour or whatever. But I mean, I could definitely, like I said, it's almost been an hour, and I allotted for that because I figured I was like, hey, if I can at least give you an hour.
I don't think you want to talk about G.I. Joe #2. So
exactly,
you can.
I haven't read G.I. Joe since I was a wee lad, as they say, Larry Hama. But yeah, although is this the Larry Hama G.I.? Because I know there's two G.I. Joe.
It's the Paul Aller.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We're gonna argue about it here in just a minute.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Yeah.
The Larry Hama G.I. Joe I know is board certified.
But it would also be fun to get his perspective on someone who's not reading this stuff as well.
Jason,
it could be fun.
Jason, you're going to keep it up. Boogie's going to say,
he's gone.
we got to get Adam out of here. So
Jason's gone. He's been kicked off the show. But for real, Antonio, thanks for taking time to come on.
Absolutely.
Again, all the links are in the description. Check him out. Follow Antonio on Twitter. He's always tweeting, showing some of that artwork. Back the campaign. It's all down in the description. But
yes.
Thank you, and I will talk to you Thursday night.
Looking forward to it, brother. Thank you.
All right.
Awesome. That was great.
I'm still gonna call him Kieran Gillen.
Oh yeah.
Well, no. Well, you're wrong.
I probably am. I don't care. I'm gonna continue to be wrong, Kyron.
Ugh.
Dude, how awesome is that comic though, man? That comic is.
I've been telling you guys forever how great it is.
It looks
great.
Amazing.
My gosh,
Amazing.
Caanan White is so
I don't remember you saying that at all.
I do not recall.
Thanks for contributing to that conversation, Adam.
Dude, y'all had it down. I asked a good question. I asked a good question that spurred good conversation.
Way to co-host, bro. You did.
So shut your mouth.
I'm just glad. I'm just glad you're here, bro. We look, we're going
18 in the chat.
We're going 2 hours tonight.
Oh,
there's
great.
no doubt about it. We're going 2 hours.
In all honesty, though, as Jason kept saying, can Antonio stick around? And you were like, we're going to get Antonio out of here. We're going to get Antonio out of here.
Did you see my eyes? I was like,
what?
No. I swear, I was just waiting. I was waiting for Boogie to change it to like, we're going to get Adam out of here and just keep Antonio on.
Dude, I said one last question 72 times, bro.
Right.
Jason, you weren't here last week. You were at Baltimore City Comic Con. Give us your few minutes, several minutes, 2 minutes.
This is gonna take forever.
Oh, I know.
Nah.
So much free swag.
Give us your update, dude. It was so cool following on.
Such a blast. So I'm with another group besides ComicCast called Comic Corps, CORPS, like the Army Corps, Comic Corps, and it's a fun group of guys, just like here. But it's a bunch of other YouTubers.
Right?
What's that?
Did they get my application?
Denied.
Yeah, just recruit, bro.
Denied.
Oh man. Oh, you kicked me off for good.
You got kicked off this show. How are you gonna get on another show?
Bring that boy back. Yeah. So we had a booth. We had a booth at Baltimore Comic Con, and it was amazing. So we just did like interviews the whole entire time. So we're running back and forth between Artist Alley and different tables and writers, and across from us was the Xenoscope Records booth, and they had a nice setup. We made quick friends with them, just talk shop with them for a good hour or two, just because it was like dead on Friday morning. So we were talking for a good amount, and one of the guys who helps run the company as well as the booth, he gave me this one for free called Grim Universe, and it's kind of like a little rundown of every little issue that they have, So it's kind of an introduction to the whole entire Xenoscope, universe, because it's a connected universe, just like Marvel or DC.
I would
so I was like, oh, sweet,
just like Marvel and DC.
They're trying. But like, man, they have great artists though. You can't deny their artists.
It is good.
So good. And so I'm excited to read some of the stories. And one of that guy that was there wrote one of these stories too. So I'm excited to see what's up with that. Also, on Thursday morning, everyone had to wait to go into the convention center. So there's a big parking lot full of just like, I know, sorry, I'm very, very active, Boogie. I know, I'm sorry. I'm almost Italian, I'm talking
Kung Fu fighting. Kung Fu fighting.
So we're in this parking lot, and it's full of just other comic book, people that have a booth there. So like, Xenoscope Records is there, Action Labs is there, our buddies that we're sharing the booth with, it's a local comic book shop, and they're friends with Action Labs. That one of the people wrote up with them. So we made friends with Action Labs right away. And it's made this huge coincidence that, of course, Ryland Grant is on Action Labs. David Propose is on Action Labs, and we're like, oh yeah, we know those guys, So here's what the Baltimore exclusive from Ryland Grant for Bandjacks. He gave me this one autographed, as you know, Rocky IV. Oh, so good, dude.
So great.
Amazing. So I think he's
wrote all over it.
I want one, Ryland.
I almost brought this for him to sign, but I couldn't fit it inside my bag.
Man.
I would have. It would have ruined the cardboard. So I couldn't. But my backpack was full. But yeah, as soon as I got there, man, and then David Pose also, he gave me Going to the Chapel, Baltimore exclusive, right here of issue 1, and super nice. He signed it for me, of course. Great guy. We're going to be talking about issue 2 later on today. I met Jeff Lemire. Jeff Lemire was amazing.
Man, so great.
He's a huge Twin Peaks fan, so am I. And he did a cover for this Twin Peaks fan magazine called Blue Rose. And he signed this one for me right there. And I think he's pretty excited that I had this. And then he enjoyed he liked the long sleeve shirt I was wearing at Twin Peaks. So like the next day I gave it to him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he has my shirt. I don't know
what was his reaction to that when you're like, do you want my shirt?
No, well, first he's like, that's a nice shirt. I've never seen that. He's like, did you make that yourself? And I was like, no, it's like a collaboration between like this clothing company and Twin Peaks. He's like, that's really nice. He's like, thanks, man.
Oh,
and then that's the first. Well, no. That's the first day I wore it, like ever.
We already made fun of you for blowing him. So.
I know, right?
Oh, dude.
I would have done the same thing.
That was great.
The next day, I was like,
Jeff Lemire, I'd have been like, we're not worthy on my knees, but in a totally different way.
The next day, I was like, yeah, man. Like, I was like, here, like, I got something for you. He's like, sweet. He's like, this is awesome. Thanks, man. And then he had original art for sale. So I bought a Nick Cave original sketch off of him.
Nice.
So, I thought that was awesome. We talked about the tour. He saw Nick Cave a couple of days later after I did. So just have some original Jeff Lemire art of an artist you like. That's amazing.
Yes.
Dude, I got so much stuff here. I got to talk to Steranko, famous artist, dude. This print was the last one he had, and he had the original art there of this as well. Beautiful, man. The color's popping in real life. Some reason it turned like orange and dark in here. But he has a great signature too. It's all gold. So that was the last one of that he had. The last print also at Neil Adams was this Joker New York Comic Con exclusive. He made 50 of these, dude. 50. And it was the display copy. The display copy is the last one. So of course he signed that one as well, man. Dude, I got so much.
I'd have all that stuff on eBay right now. All that stuff.
Man. Dude, it's
Christmas. Christmas is taken care of.
Fat stack of stuff, dude. And as soon as I walked into Baltimore Comic Con, my homie JD, one of my co panelists on the Wednesday Comic Core show, he gave me this record of MF Doom.
That is so cool.
Dude, he worked this is a record label called Drastic Plastic, which is known for making like punk re-releases on 180 gram and 200 gram actually, and color vinyl releases of like Cramps and other rockabilly stuff and punk stuff. But I guess they released that, and they have a bar in the same city that he lives in. So he made friends with them, and he got me that. So that was really cool. And I also collect, Batman holding guns as well, specifically. I have a big collection of that because he's not supposed to have it. So I think it's kind of like a fun,
it's cool, but it's weird.
Yeah. It's like I'm like an absurdist, in real life, an existential nihilist absurdist, and so it kind of fits my lifestyle, where it's like he's not supposed to have that. So it was kind of before that rule was made, really, I guess, or there's circumstances where that permitted. So I have all those covers, and so there at the Comic Con at Baltimore Comic Con, I picked up 4 that I didn't have before, and one of them was also gifted to me by JD. But man, it's such a blast of talking to so many creators and writers, and good times with friends. It's like a YouTube. Fun little hangout session, the Comic Core is made up of other YouTubers. It's like us. We talk every week. We see each other like every week. We're like pretty much better friends than my real life friends, because I never see them so working too much.
And we talk all week long in a private chat.
Exactly, dude. Amazing. Like So you guys are better friends than my real life friends, and I never see. You know what I mean?
You guys
it's
too.
ridiculous. Yeah, I know, right? But like this, yeah. So at Baltimore Comic Con was everyone hang out together. So it's imagine us like
I don't want
every
to
year
ruin it.
making a hangout where we can, you don't want to do that.
We would do it, but Gaumer won't show up. Adam and I would show up. We would drive. We would get in the car and drive.
When's the next Baltimore Comic Con? I'll go.
I'll go.
A lot of us were like,
let's do it. Let's do it, bro.
Let's
find a con and let's do it. We don't need a table.
I gotta check the Airbnb.
We'll probably have a table next year. We can do a special ComicCast episode, bro.
All we need is a hotel room and a convention. That's it.
Yeah, let's do it. That'd be awesome.
And if we do bring a table, Boogie can put me through it.
Yeah,
I'll do that too. Antonio's gone, but you guys are still hanging out. We still got 15 people hanging out. Make sure you smash that like button. Let's talk some comic books. Let's get into it. G.I. Joe, #2.
This is you, isn't it?
Yeah, written by Paul
You're
Aller.
saying it like it wasn't, and I was like, wait.
Gomer, you got the lead. Go, bro. Art by Chris Evans. Whis! Colors by Brittany Peer. Letters by Neil with a last name that I can't pronounce. So this comic book, the U.S. has surrendered to Cobra. Duke is dead. How crazy was it that in Antonio's book, it looked exactly like Duke getting his brains blown out? Same type violence. I love it. Duke is dead. G.I. Joe is recruiting civilians to operate as spies, assassins, saboteurs. How are we going to survive? I don't know. I like the overall premise of this book. I do. Jason said it a few weeks ago. The protagonist is annoying, but he's trying to find. He's trying to find his place. I get it.
Green. He's a green.
I don't know why he wouldn't fit in though with G.I. Joe special ops when he walked in off the street, day one civilian. I don't know. I don't know why he wouldn't fit in, but he has a
self-esteem issue.
Sure, he does. But
feel like he's worthy.
You're trying to show training how you would bring this civilian into G.I. Joe, and why are these G.I. Joe recruits sitting around in the floor like we're in kindergarten saying, "Pick me"? They're all sitting around doing this, and Scarlett's standing over them like.
Was that like your Taekwondo class at all?
That's how it happened. That's how Taekwondo class
it's
goes.
not.
That's my sense of it from watching
karate class.
TV.
What's
to Mortal Kombat
South American
training,
ground karate, bro.
You sit
South
with
American
your legs crossed.
What's that
you
called?
Raise your hand when someone calls.
I love how you are making fun of me for the poor
no.
For the
Isn't that called domination?
That's exactly right, Adam. It's the truth. They look like a bunch of idiots sitting around, and your first day of training is to stand up and get punched in the face by Scarlett. Why? And the overall theme of this book is take a beating and keep on ticking.
But in the same vein, I wonder if it was similar. When they wrote it, they were thinking. Who remembers that scene from Police Academy?
Yes.
Where they're doing the same thing is happening.
That's what I always go to when I need to prove a point.
Yeah, me too. Police Academy.
Police Academy.
The mean hot blonde cop. Yeah.
When I finish this, in the spoiler alert at the end, Hawk has to reach out to Destro. They're going to join forces and try to take.
That's so
I like the over. If you told me what the book was about, I would be like, dude, I'm so in. And then I read it and I'm like, this is not executed well.
I think it's executed just fine. I had a good time with this.
You like grown men sitting around.
I understand your
with
point,
their legs crossed going, it's my turn to get punched in the face.
But I did really think that they were just in sort of a training area and they were sitting around hearing their lessons. I didn't think about it.
Wow.
I don't go
a 3-year-old
Joe every week.
Come on,
I'm sure
Scarlett didn't
like,
say,
I can punch you and it's legal.
Yeah,
I would never punch you. I don't punch people, dude.
I don't punch you. I wrap them up and choke them out.
That's exactly right.
I'm sure.
It's worse.
Do you think the military trains like this book? That's what I'm saying. It has nothing to do.
No, but they're not military, and I think that's kind of the air that they're trying to put forward. This is not the military. I loved Scarlett going off the rails. I loved Jinx's response because it was both "shut the hell up, Scarlett. We all lost somebody," but it was also "no, this is my team, and this is how I'm going to lead my team." I understand what you're saying, and it could be a little bit closer to what you're saying. It's almost as though the whole premise of it being getting regular Joes off the street to join G.I. Joe is sort of bogging down the good parts of the story. The parts where Major Blood is talking to Mindbender, I love that, dude.
Yeah, I love it too.
There. Oh, it's Mindbender's awesome.
Civilians shouldn't be the problem. My problem is the way the Joes are training these civilians.
That's what I'm saying. It's getting almost hung up on its civilian aspect of
the civilians' response to the training doesn't bother me. It's the training that bothers me.
Sure,
Boogie, during this,
I think that's a nitpick.
During these parts of the story, maybe you should just go and watch the G.I. Joe movie where they're training Tunnel Rat and everybody, and just watch that and then go back to the story.
Dude, that's a classic film. Duke was gonna die in that too.
Tunnel Rat,
remember?
My favorite part though was like, so the new guy kept training and kept getting punched, and he kept trying to try over and over. Yeah, Tiger kept trying to try over and over to beat this woman. He didn't want to give up, and he's finally pretty much about to quit. You know, he's at his breaking point, and he's got beaten up like multiple times.
So what's the answer, Jason?
So he's leaving, but like I thought it was so funny, dude. The plan to give him some extra courage so he doesn't quit is to gang up on the girl.
Yep.
And so he can punch her. And his face, dude, his face. I laughed so hard when I saw his face that he could finally punch her back in the face. Oh my God, dude.
What world do we live in where five grown men can hold down a woman and you sucker punch her? And
Jinx was in there too. Jinx was in there too.
And that finally relieves your confidence that you're gonna be okay.
I'm glad Jason.
He's a complicated character. He's complicated.
Everybody sit down, crisscross applesauce.
Wow.
Yeah,
I still
punch
like
women in the face.
I'm still enjoying it.
Funny.
Yeah, good luck.
It's not.
Oh my
God! Not just a woman. All right, that is.
She's a warrior.
Scarlet,
Strong warrior, dude. Yeah.
She's
I don't know.
Princess.
I think I picked.
What I'm gonna do Monday night at jiu-jitsu. I'm gonna say, hey, I need 5 dudes to hold this girl down. One of the girls I train with won gold this weekend in a tournament. I'm gonna say 5 dudes hold her down. I'm gonna punch her in the face
and get your confidence back.
Yeah, to get your confidence back.
Because I could never get
you
gold.
guys have ruined this damn book for me.
But I'm having fun.
Damn it!
I think at this point,
oh my God,
Jinx over Scarlet because Jinx knocked her through that door.
Ooh, that was a great moment too.
Yeah,
I love that moment. Chad in the chat is wondering why Adam hasn't burped yet. Obviously, Adam needs to pass a drug test tomorrow because
Gomer doesn't know how to shill. It takes.
I don't have any.
I
forgot to get root beer.
Straight water out of the jug. Do you have to pass a drug test tomorrow?
No. Do you see me eating powdered Jello?
Yeah, no. That never worked for me, man.
All right, we're ready to move on. That was a fun conversation.
Damn it, G.I. Joe. That was a great. I like that book. Damn it, I can't believe you guys.
I love the premise. That's the problem. Is I love the premise, and I don't think they executed it well. Eli's got a great comment.
Yeah, it ended on a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just put Destro in the comic and fix it. That doesn't fix it.
Dude, what about Hawk narrating the whole thing, and then it winds up being Destro he's talking to? Yeah. So there's good and bad. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I'm still going to read it.
The good is way up here. The bad is just down here.
Y'all are going to talk me into reading the 3rd issue.
I love it. I really like this.
It's going to happen. Let's talk about a book that I hope we all liked, Going to the Chapel #2.
All right.
Go into the chapel
that
with David.
Hanging fruit.
Yeah, sorry. I was checking SoCal media. Sorry. All right. Going to the chapel, number 2, written by the great David.
Side note, Chad is so drunk in the live chat.
Talking about Slinkies. Slinkies. Fun for a girl and a boy.
Dude, it's not the live chat. It's the lit Chad.
It is the lit Chad. That's not his name. That's not his name.
That's your best joke, I think, of the week, easily so far.
You're welcome,
Adam. It's good. It's got me confident for this review.
What do you get when you cross a bungee cord with an owl? My ass.
I love that movie so much.
All right. Wait, go into the chat.
Can I do Inside Baseball?
Sure.
Are we all going to praise this book?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I'm going to tag David.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was a good.
I loved it. I was just.
Let's just skip Adam's review. It was a good book. I had a whole lot of fun with this.
Oh, come on.
Next minute.
All right. I'll try to
cover time to get this tweet out real quick.
Get your Baltimore Comic-Con cover ASAP before they're sold out.
Were you putting out a tweet about this book?
Yeah, right now.
It's going to make him nervous. He's going to get stage fright.
I actually owe me an apology. I owe him an apology because it was supposed to be.
Save this story till the end.
All right.
Go ahead.
Going to the chapel number 2. This book was no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Written by our friend David Papose. Art by Gavin Guidry.
I'm sure we'd be friends with him too.
And Liz Kramer.
If we knew that.
Letters by Ariana Mar.
Try again. Just go ahead.
Bill, it's like Bill Mar. Ariana Mar. A wedding. So this is we in the first issue, the Bad Elvis gang invade a church where a wedding's going on.
A church invasion, if you will.
It's
Kinda
a
like
church
invasion.
It's a robbery in a church. But so it turns interesting because we find out the Bad Elvis gang's leader Tom is actually was romantically involved with the bride-to-be Emily, who is having second thoughts about her fiance Jesse, who is trying to figure out how to stop the Bad Elvis gang, who are stuck in this whole situation with the wedding party's unbearable family.
And now the cops showed up.
And yes, well, because of the family, one of them is an influencer, so she always has a backup mobile device, so she can influence people on the social media.
What, hashtag Emily something, or I forget what the hashtag was.
Hashtag
it was more.
Yeah, more something more. But
more problems.
And we get more Grandma Harriet continuing to sass, and
she wanted porn. The phone for porn.
Wow. She's the best.
So this is
she used to hang out with the grandma from Once in Future. I think they'd hit it off.
Yeah, this whole thing just makes me feel bad for not Tom, but the rest of the Bad Elvis gang. That they're stuck in this entire
It feels like Tom sort of did them over for a romance. Yeah.
David Peppo said it's a rom-com,
which
so
it's
more action than I thought it would. For a rom-com. I thought the Black Elvis was going to get shot. I was like, oh no, I thought he was going to die. Like, dude, when those cops started firing, I was like, oh, this dude's dead because he's running towards. He ran outside the church. I'm like, he's going to get shot up. And thankfully he's alive. Thankfully they're all alive. Like, man, but I guess
Emily seems like the smartest person. Person.
If David's listening, I think one of the Bad Elvis gang members needs to hook up with Grandma Harriet.
Oh wow!
Yeah, wow. Awesome.
Wow.
But this continues to be fun. Just a fun. It's a fun story. So
that's exactly what I have in my notes. This is just a fun read. It's period. That's it. This is a fun. David, if you're listening, this goes on the trade. This book is just a fun read. Period. Boogie Bentley, ComicCast podcast.
I think we got a shout out on Banjax. I'm waiting for that volume 1 to come out.
There you go.
Fingers crossed.
I hope it says Boogie and not Gaumer.
It says Paulie F's this robot. ComicCast.
Thanks for censoring yourself. But this is quick and easy, dude. You can fly through this book. You have a blast with it. It's humorous. There's comedy at the right times. There's action. We've got this romantic comedy going on in the forefront, but David Pepos was on here a few weeks ago, and I think we told him then this is made for a movie. This is such a movie pitch, and my wife would want to go see it. I would go see it and be like, this is fun. Like, I have fun when I leave it. The artwork is good.
It's on Netflix streaming, so I don't have to leave the house.
Gomer, shut up.
Just saying, David.
The artwork is not something like Sorrentino on Gideon Falls, but the artwork is perfect for this type of story. I love this book. I love this book. I love this book. I'm down to read more of Going to the Chapel. What is it? 4 issues? I'm in.
It's 4 issues. Yeah.
That's it.
I'm pretty
I think it's I think season 1. I love that Action Lab does it. Season 1.
All right. I'm down. It's cool. I like that.
That's it. Good job.
We're all
Jason.
down. We love this book.
Moving on. Are we moving on? Is that it? That's all we're going to say?
Let's move on. Keep it going.
X minute. I bet there's no way on God's green earth we can finish this show in 10 minutes. X minute.
I can do it pretty quick. Marauders, number 1. I'm on a boat. Is the name
I'm on a boat.
That's the name of the issue. I know. I'm pretty sure that is a joke.
On a mother effing boat.
That's right. I'm pretty sure. Jerry Dugan, Matteo Lally on the art, Federico Blee on colors, Corey Pettit doing letters, Tom Muller still doing design, even though these charts and graphs were jokes, I think, really. This is all about Kate Pride, not being able to use the Krakoan portals for some reason. That's a mystery. Mm-hmm. So she gets there by boat, and that leads to Emma Frost giving her a job of patrolling the high seas to both free mutants who are in countries that aren't going to let mutants leave through those portals. And also to sort of keep the black market of the pharmaceuticals of Krakoa still going, forward. And they sort of alluded to that a little bit in the House of X and Powers of 10. But the reason they want to be in control of the black market is so that they can still regulate the price, which is genius. They don't even want the human countries to be dealing in their stuff, which was wonderful. This is exactly what I expect from an X-Men comic. It's perhaps the perfect X-Men comic. Great action, wonderful character moments, growth potential for the lead character, a very cool team, all getting together. All kinds of funny moments, from Iceman's top joke to the charts and graphs that was more of the sinister secrets. And Wolverine's shopping list. What? Are you kidding me? So great. I could nitpick this thing apart if I wanted to, but it was a blast. I loved it. It was great. Excalibur number 1 next week from Teenie Howard and Marcus Toe.
# spoiler alert.
How about that house
That's
layout?
on the book of the week
How
poll.
about that house layout?
Oh, good. The what?
We talking about
that house
Wolverine?
layout?
Talking about Wolverine?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we hit on that last week.
Wolverine.
You missed it. Sorry, Baltimore Comic Con.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm back to bragging.
I'm too good. I got better things to do. Sorry.
That was the elephant in the room when we talked about X-Men number 1 in the X-Men last week, but it's fan service. If really, they're never going to confirm that one way or the other, dude. There's no way.
Last week when Magneto and the X-Men were invading that one last base on Earth of Orcus, the door was made out of vibranium. Do you think Wakanda supplied all that vibranium to them, or do you think they might have? I feel like they probably took it behind or got a collection of vibranium themselves. But I do like thinking that Wakanda could have an implication that they don't want the X-Men to grow, or the mutants
on a political slant. Yeah, I could see that. I don't want a war. Come on, no one wants a war.
I want a war. I want a Wakanda and mutant war. Yeah.
But I'm excited to see where this goes. It was a good book. Marauders was good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No one else.
Adam, you got the digital code there ready to show? You want to show it? You want to show it or drop it in the live chat?
Are you a grower or a shower?
I'll drop it in the live chat.
He's neither. Big Frank is finally here. Big Frank, you missed the interview.
Hey,
you
Frank.
better go back and listen. But he says AirPods is back.
AirPods is back.
Yeah,
AirPods.
Yeah, I caught that last week. That was funny.
What a terrible nickname to have.
Hey, AirPods.
Hey, AirPods. What's up, AirPods?
The goose egg in the code did not discern itself to be either a 0 or a capital O. So
it's really a crap.
Either one.
Yeah. So
a good programmer would not have done that.
Yeah,
it didn't have a slash through it, but it also wasn't a perfect circle. So
Chad Johnson says, "My dad is so confused." Chad's dad, this is what we do every single Sunday night.
Aren't most dads confused all the time? I know that's how I go through life as a dad.
Especially if they were listening to us.
Not knowing what the hell's going on.
Imagine being 60-year-old Gaumer listening to this train wreck.
So do you think...
not my X-Men.
So Emma said that she asked Storm previously, but then Storm's part of the crew anyways. That that kind of didn't make sense to me.
I think she's out there to make sure that what she thought Emma was going to have her do doesn't actually happen to Kate. Kitty, sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's potential there, man. I got faith in the creative team.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
Look at Chad.
I think I could put this on screen and not get demonetized.
Yeah, you're right. Awesome.
I'm glad you and your dad are bonding over some good cold liquor. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to hit some random reviews, or do you want to go right into the book of the week?
Oh, that's up to you, bro. Do we want to talk about the scientist like porno book that I read? It was great.
Sure. Dude.
Yeah, hit it. Hit it.
Hit it. Hit it.
Hit it.
What an apropos term of phrase. Money Shot #1 on Vault Comics. Tim Seeley, Sarah Beatty writing it with Rebecca Isaacs doing the art. In the future, space travel is expensive and boring. So a group of scientists decide to do porn in space to fund their projects. It was very good, man. It was like
they named their ships.
No. It was, I mean, yeah, it was very, funny in places, and it had a lot of sex going on, but they're really just true scientists at heart, and they're all doing it for like the greater good of science. So it's like Star Trek meets, the Star Trek porn parody. It's wonderful. I had a great time with it.
What else you got?
Avengers 25. This finishes the whole Ghost Rider thing from Jason Aaron and Stefano Caselli. It was okay that for an arc. I was hoping for a bit more, I think, from the whole Ghost Riders thing. But this ended with Iron Man getting trapped back like in 10 billion BC or what the hell ever it was, 10 million BC.
Yeah.
So that's cool. They've been teasing that for what, 2 years?
Yeah,
before
the BC
this book
stuff
even came out. Yeah, man, that was like in a fresh start, a new start, whatever it was.
Legacy,
yeah. Batman Superman was dope.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, how about you steal my book, bro?
Oh, I'm still.
Go ahead, bro.
Let's talk about
I was going to get into it more in detail because the book opened up, dude. Batman's being a dickhead.
I love it.
And he's preparing for the worst, and he's trying to be this superhero, and he thinks he's doing what's right, but at the end of the day, he's kind of being an asshole.
But why?
He's studying his friends, family, his
powerful
allies.
people.
Yeah, he's always done that. Yeah,
he's a good idea.
It's Batman. It's why I love Batman.
Where all went wrong, but still, that's.
But it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right. But I do love Batman.
He's supposed to do what's right. He's supposed to do
what's safe. Exactly.
Get the hair out of your ears, bro.
That's a good idea.
If studying my fellow leaguers is wrong,
what I dig about it again. Right, wrong, indifferent, it doesn't matter. He's trying to find their deepest, darkest secrets, and that kind of goes
with that information.
But it leads us to this Batman Who Laughs storyline, because Batman Who Laughs knows everything that Bruce Wayne thinks, and that's what makes this story so intriguing. The spoilers are out there, but I've avoided them. So as of now, we've got Shazam Who Laughs, and now Superman has been poisoned with the Joker toxin. I posted the artwork of Superman Who Laughs, and Instagram went nuts, man. People are eating it up. I feel like Williamson is writing such a good story here that people may not be aware of. I love that Superman is poisoned himself. He did this to himself
to go undercover.
And try to he breaks out the Batman Who Laughs out of the Hall of Justice.
Bad idea.
Trying to figure out his plan. And it's in my notes right here directly. Who the hell thought this was a good idea?
Yeah, Superman did. Batman's like, that's a terrible idea. Superman's like, let's do it. He's like, okay.
Right. I like seeing. I love seeing Jim Gordon infected. We get another reveal at the end. Awesome. I won't spoil. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen it spoiled. This book is one of my favorite things.
There's so many fun details in here.
There's the Jim Gordon Who Laughs now.
Yeah, that was the reveal.
But that was in Batman. But wasn't that in Batman Who Laughs too?
Like there's a Bizarro version of everybody. Now there's going to be
it's them, but they're like Joker toxins.
They're Joker toxins.
Why is the one guy that didn't read the book ripping on it?
Right.
Now we got what?
I'll just
we have the Bullock Who Laughs also now, right?
I don't know.
He's at the end of the last Batman issue.
Oh, maybe he's not one of the 6 though.
I think so.
Oh, that's stupid.
I thought you already knew who the 6 were.
I don't think it's been completely
spoiled. Beetle, this
one.
Dad said it.
Great.
Oh, you just spoiled it.
The spoiler.
The Blue Beetle artwork was amazing.
Dude, Marquez murdered the art in this. Is so good. Oh my gosh, all over. Dude, how about the scene where Superman's all like, "Oh, I'm undercover," but the Batman Who Laughs like. He knows he's undercover, so he starts trolling him. Again, I'm gonna have you murder your kids later too. And Superman's like, great, and like punches the wall, dude.
So good.
Good.
Yeah.
So good. And at that point right there, I knew it. I was like, man, they're not even out of that cell.
Yeah, he's like, we have to. Oh, yeah, you're right, dude. That was awesome.
Right then. I was like, oh, no. They didn't even let him get out of the cell. He's trolling the hell out of them, and it's perfect. He knows so
I like how Batman's like, yeah, if we're going to beat him, we have to beat him how Superman thinks we're going to beat him, not by how I think as Batman, because he's going to know already. So we
And then he already knew. He already knew. Yeah. Oh, he's gonna think. It's like what's his name, Walter Deshawn in The Princess Bride. You know, he's like, I know that Batman is gonna think the way I think, so I got to think the way that he would think if he knew that I was thinking, which is the way Superman thinks. Got you, Batman.
That's the whole dynamic that makes the book amazing.
It so
makes
good,
the book amazing. This is one of my favorite books. I love Snyder's Justice League. I've kind of started to lose steam. I told you guys, I'm like 5 issues behind.
You need to catch up, though, dude. It's still
good.
Great.
I'm reading it, but still,
this is
one of my favorite DC books. I love this book.
It's and everything, like we talked about in the pre-show, this sort of ends with the whole Doom thing. You know, the Doom War, which you have to be reading and caught up on Justice League to see what's actually going on there.
Right.
But Joshua Williamson's voice for the Batman Who Laughs, I think, is better than Snyder's, dude.
Well, that's what when we were talking about
the
pre-show,
I can bleed right into it right here. Black Adam, You're the Villain, Black Adam #1. Paul Jenkins. This is the first book I picked up from the Year of the Villain, and I don't think I'll pick up another one. I thought the story was good. But when I read Joshua Williamson's Batman Who Laughs and Shazam Who Laughs, and then I see Shazam Who Laughs in this book, it's not the same character. He doesn't have the voice. The story itself was great. Shazam Who Laughs versus Black Adam fighting for his people. It was a really good story. The voice was off.
You got Shazam Who Laughs saying, "What's up, dude? What's up, gamer, dude? I'm a gamer, bro."
That's not what Joshua Williamson has been writing at all.
Or the worst part about the Superman the Batman Superman book is that there are already like 8 Superman and Batman books.
Doesn't
and if
matter.
You're a fan, I know
that was a turnoff to me.
People aren't going to pick this up, man. People aren't
read it, and you will change your mind.
It's so good.
I'm the guy that's reading every freaking Batman book that comes out. Every Batman book, and this still was so good that I couldn't
as good as Detective was this week too. This was still awesome. Loads better.
Was great.
Detective was awesome. Yeah,
I love that Mr. Freeze story, dude.
Me too, man.
So
Me too.
Good. So good.
It's like poetry at times. It's so good.
Yeah.
I'm not mentioning anything else. That's good.
I mentioned Detective Tomasi and Monkey on there with Mendoza. It's great.
That was only the Year of the Villain time you read. You didn't read the Joker one-off. The Joker one-off was amazing. John Carpenter.
Nope.
That was great.
You got it. Yeah,
I talked about that last week. Maybe the best Joker story I've read.
Yeah, you got to pick the Joker.
Vermejo's run in the
I thought about it. I thought, don't you think they'll put out a trade with all these?
I think they've already announced it in the last.
So I think I'll read that because I love
the Riddler one was great too, man. The Riddler one was awesome.
Yeah, the Riddler one's
Black
amazing
Adam
too.
Story
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
The Black Adam story was great. I just didn't like how they executed Shazam Who Laughs.
Yeah.
Because this book blended perfectly with Batman Superman #3.
Yeah.
Perfect.
If they don't do a whole trade of those Year of the Villains one-shots, they're messing
good call.
up.
Yeah, good call. You're right.
That would be great.
We got so many people hanging out in the live chat, even after Antonio is gone.
Go back and listen to this again later, guys.
Yeah, Mastodon's hanging out. Thanks for showing up.
Hey, what's up, Donnie?
That's fine. The Wednesday pull list is here. What's up, dude? Thrash Yaws, Eli came in a little late. Eli's always dropping good comments. Dude, the Comic Book Bullies. I don't think I listened to the last episode yet. You guys have been on fire. The knowledge you guys dropped on the Watchmen review was so freaking good. It was a history lesson, and I appreciated every bit of it. It was such a great review. I didn't watch the show myself, but you guys killed it. I love that review.
Yeah, I didn't actually watch Watchmen, but I wanted to after they brought up
all the history. It was awesome. It was amazing.
It was great. Their review was so freaking good.
I told you guys in the pre-show that show had no business being as good as it was. It was so good.
And I got to get another damn streaming service. Crap,
dude.
Man.
I mean, I don't know my HBO password. It's my cable password. You know what I mean on Verizon. So I probably wouldn't match up. You couldn't get it.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh yeah, if you're in a different zip code, they'll shut that crap down too, man. They're on it. Anything else, Jason? Anything else you read you want to mention?
I feel like there is. I'm sorry. Let me go through my list real quick. I'm sorry. Curse of the White Knight was probably the best Batman story I read this week.
I haven't read it yet. There was so much Batman this week. I got that Spider-Man Inner Circle book too, and I haven't read it yet.
How was that?
I haven't read it yet either.
Yeah, I didn't read that.
I got so hammered last night. I didn't.
I did too at work. Yeah.
That's so true.
Dude, White Knight. I was bartending. Dude, White Knight was so good there, man. Like, so last issue we saw Jim Gordon die. This one, Barbara Gordon is off the wall. She's on the rampage, hunting down, Azrael and his 2 gang, people, his crew. And pretty much, Azrael's on a death wish. He has cancer. He doesn't care if he lives or dies. He's gonna bring his other 2 guys with him. But still, man, the writing in this and the action is so compelling and so good and so emotional. The beginning of this is so it gives flashbacks of like Barbara Gordon going from like school and like Jim taking her there and like back and forth to like present day where he's in the hospital, like going down the gurney, going down the hallway and like on his deathbed. Oh, so good.
Man, I gotta read
it. Dude, it's so emotional, man. I almost cried. Like, what I mean? Like in like 4 pages, like, oh, it's so good. Another one I want to highlight also is Justice League Dark. I love Justice League by Snyder. It's amazing. But Justice League Dark might be my favorite Justice League book, maybe a close second. This one is the last issue dealt with Eclipso almost being released. They brought back the character Eclipso. He's like the opposite of the Spectre. And so this one, this is just pure horror by Tynion. So good. Eclipso, like I guess what's her name? Zatanna silences him from talking trash, makes his mouth disappear, and then he's still talking. He's like, I don't need a mouth to talk. And then all of a sudden he starts ripping off his face and like pulls it back. Like, it's just pure horror. It's so good, dude. It's amazing. So if you haven't read Justice League Dark, pick it up maybe at the beginning of this story arc. I think this is on part 3 of the Witching War. So Witching War issue 3 is today. Yeah. So maybe go back 2 months and get issue 1 of Witching War. And it works really well with Witching Hour. So read Witching Hour and then start Witching War. I would say.
Witching Hour is when I dropped out, but it was because I was reading Snyder's Justice League. And I was having fun with Justice League Dark, but hearing you talk about it every single week, I'm like, so good. I need to read it in trade. I
think it'd be a great start from like Witching Hour to Witching War and skip all the stuff in between. That was really good too. But I think I kind of forgot some stuff that happened in Witching Hour, and I really wish I would have like read that right before because it connects really well.
And this tied in with Year of the Villain too, the whole Doom.
Yeah, dude. Same thing with Detective Comics. It has the Doom kind of signal in the sky at the end over the whole entire world. Same thing in Flash. This new Flash today was really good. At the end, it's like big like Doom symbol at the end in the sky. Everyone's like, wow, what's going on?
I love that.
Yeah, me too, dude. I love that too.
Marvel is missing that. We mentioned it in the pre-show. Marvel is missing that cohesiveness between all of their brands. Not that their brands are bad, but I think that's one of the main appeals of X-Men for me right now. Yeah, there's a lot of books, but they're all connected.
Yeah.
I love that shared universe.
Me too, man.
Aspect of it, and they're really capitalizing on it.
And they're really trying to make it all make sense recently. These issues that featured this Year of the Villain stuff, to have that stuff, that little special touch to bring it all together. And I think a lot of us appreciate it so much.
Right?
And that needs to happen more often.
In a line that has like 80 to 100 books a month, dude, they can do their Shazam and their even Doomsday Clock. That's sort of out of continuity. But most of your books, damn it, should all be connected a lot closer than they are, man. And Marvel feels like nothing is connected.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna move into the book of the week here in just a second. Cool. We got 20 people hanging out in the live chat. A lot of people showed up for Antonio, which is awesome. Some people dropped, and more people came in, which is even more cool. There's a couple of ways you can help this podcast. Number one, it's easy. It's free. Smash the like button. It helps the analytics of YouTube. You can share the podcast out. You can share it on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you get social with your media. Another way, you can do a super chat, $1.99, 99 cents, whatever you want to do.
$100.
$100 would be cool. But if you want to represent your favorite comic book podcast that nobody has ever heard of, you can pick up the official ComicCast t-shirt at bonfire.com/ComicCast. All the links are in the description. You got the gray, the old school, the OG ComicCast t-shirt in the white. You got the Superman special.
Love it.
Navy. I don't think anybody's bought a navy blue, but it does look good. You got the plain white. But again, I'm not shilling. I'm not begging. I'm just telling you guys, if you want to represent ComicCast, you can pick up a t-shirt at bonfire.com/ComicCast.
If shilling or begging will help, we will do that, though.
That's what I did on Talking Balls last night. I shilled and made a bunch of money. Awesome. So it is what it is. I almost
wore mine tonight, but this shirt was picked out by Steranko. So he wanted a shirt made of this cover. It's one of his favorite covers of all time. So represent for Steranko.
Well, I wore this because Chad Johnson says I'm a Nazi. So take that.
One time.
Chad
Proof
Johnson.
that he is a Nazi.
That was just one time.
Hydra's not related, so.
That was just one time. One time.
Oh, jeez.
Hell Hydra.
Just
Oh,
one time.
man.
Let's get into the outright geekery. Adam, are you depressed?
He's on it, dude. He's
Book of the week. OutRightGeekery.com, your one-stop shop for news, reviews, previews, podcasts, everything geek at your fingertips. Little talking balls, little wrestling council. They will meet all.
It's kind of a promo for Outright Geekery, but not really.
It's more just promoting all of my podcasts. That's why I do it. Outright Geekery Book of the Week.
It's like a buffet. There's a lot of stuff on it, and none of
It's a
it's
lot
good
of stuff.
for you.
Oh, wow. This is Jason, too. I forgot that Adam
is me.
going
Mhm.
to the chapel.
That's
Book of
right.
the Week.
Count Crowley, Reluctant Midnight Monster Hunter.
Did anybody know what this was before I picked it?
No,
Nope.
I had no clue what this
Cool.
was.
Yes,
I would have
yeah,
never
cool.
touched this.
Absolutely. I
Right,
knew
same.
what it
Yeah. I would have never touched this before. Was this a licensed product like before?
I
Was
don't
there a
think
Count
so.
I
Crowley
have no
series?
clue.
I don't
No?
think so.
I picked it
This
because
is like
it
the
was a
first-
number one, and it looked interesting when I
I
saw
think
the
there would have
cover.
been something in the back that at least
Would've
alluded
said-
to that,
Yeah, good call.
but I don't think so.
I think I saw this on USA Up All Night.
Yeah, I think I saw this
Right?
on.
That fits like that. Yeah.
Buy some knives.
Nice. Good
I think I
throwback.
saw this on Billy, or what is it, Joe Briggs?
Yeah, Billy
I
Joe
lost
Briggs.
that one. I
Yeah.
lost
Billy
that
Joe
one.
Briggs.
All right, so
trailer.
story by David Dasmalachian. Is that right?
Well, he's an
Dasmalachian,
actor. He's been in a
Malchian?
lot of movies and stuff.
Malchian?
He was.
Dasmalachian?
Remember the dude in the Ant-Man, like the helper in Ant-Man? His team.
Oh,
his team of
yeah,
homeboys.
dude. I know what you mean. I know.
He's the
Okay.
dude who talks like this in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was also in the
afraid of
Dark
Baba
Knight.
Yaga.
He's also in the Dark Knight. He gets
Right.
kidnapped by Two-Face.
Yeah, he has like the or the joke. He also has like he's like laughing like the Joker and whatever. Didn't he have like a laughing problem thing?
I don't know. I have that
Yeah,
sometimes.
he's like sweating. Yeah. Art by Lucas Kettner, colors by Lauren Affey, letters Frank Vetkovic.
Svetkovic.
Vetkovic.
Svetkovic.
Do you want to do
Maybe.
the review, Gomer?
Well, no, I'm just talking about the book, Boogie.
Yeah,
I'm talking
the
about
names.
this
Go
awesome
ahead, Gomer.
book.
Go ahead, Gomer.
Thank you, Man Bear Pig.
Nice.
Classic move. So this started off with like this woman in her Count Crowley costume coming out of a radio station, drunk as hell with a whiskey bottle in her hands, and gets her a car and approached by some guy, says, oh, shoot me or kill me, forgive me, or where is he, or whatever, saying some nonsense. And then all of a sudden it goes like 2 days later or whatever. I'm like, and that's how I hate that. I hate that trope in comic book writing. I hate like right away something happens, so right away I was like, I hate this. And then I'm like, okay, growing to know the character. The art was pretty good. I like the art, actually. The art was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then later on you find out, I guess she's like a daughter of old, I guess her parents owned this radio station. So now they passed away, and it's run by her brother and her. And I guess she's like a screw up, and she's like a news reporter, and she messes up this news report at a Renaissance festival kind of thing. And I guess she fell in a puddle of mud and like went off doing a bunch of stuff that was inappropriate, and got fired for it accordingly. But her brother was like, yeah, I didn't want to fire you, but like it's your last straw. You ruin everything you touch, whatever. And so get out of here. And I'm sorry, I don't want to do this, but so she's like down on her luck. And I guess apparently she's a screw up. She's at home. She's a drunk. She like just drinks constantly. At home, I guess her bills are overdue, which didn't make sense to me if she has a constant paying job. She's like
Drinking it all.
Yeah, I guess, but it's like,
Drinking it all.
like how privileged do you have to be to like, it's your family business. I guess you just, I don't know, maybe a spoiled kid. I have no idea what her reasoning is, but
She also has
so
compulsive shopping
that's,
issue that they didn't talk about.
yeah.
Well, I don't know where to jump in. I just wanted to say that's the one thing that kind of took me out of this was that there was the bills overdue trope.
Right.
That was, but I just wanted to mention that. But go ahead.
Yeah, me too. That's why I mentioned
two
it as
different
well.
comic books. This was real life chick,
Mhm.
struggling, alcoholic, losing her job, blah blah blah. Brother gives her another opportunity, and oh, by the way, here's a werewolf.
Here's some super.
This is where we're going to go in issue 2.
Yeah.
You better sell me on issue 1, or else I'm not coming back.
But it's not really like real life either, because I mean, yeah, of course, werewolf and stuff. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, yeah, you're a drunk and you have like problems. Oh, you have overdue bills, but you're also like in a family business that gives you every opportunity at hand to make up for it. But you still continue to be a drunkard because you're bored in your hometown. Like, all right, well, that's fine. You
guys are right. It didn't give us enough of this character to understand why she's doing the things she's doing, why she's in the position she's in. It didn't give us enough of that. All it did was this. It was a great, well-written outburst on live TV. Everything that was done well. I had a good time with it. But yeah, there's pieces missing.
Overall, I still liked it.
That's the weirdest rating ever, because I'm like, I didn't like this book, but I like this book.
I didn't like it, but I had a great time reading it.
Yeah,
it was so weird, dude.
Yeah.
I love the artwork. I love the one-page layout when she drops the whiskey bottle and it busts and you got the werewolf in the reflection. Looked great, man.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, when am I getting this?
Yeah.
Oh, not till the last page.
Yes.
It's like this issue was there's points where
Go ahead, Jason.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Jason.
I keep getting lagging. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Yeah, there's points of this where I was like reading, I was like, this art is great. I really like this art a lot. And then I'm like, I really like this character and want to know what she's going to do next, even though I don't really like her, but I want to see what she's going to do next at the same time too. I don't think she has reasons for doing what she does, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, whatever, let's just go with it. It's fictional, let's just roll with it. And it's overall, it's good. And the thing is, it's a 4-issue series, not a big investment. So I'm in. I wish it was 3.
Right.
You're reading it for free because I like
true. But hey.
No. Yeah. But I actually still bought it. I didn't even read. I didn't even read the free copy. I bought it.
Nice.
We get free stuff. Thank you to Gaumer for Outright Geekery. Thank you, Outright Geekery for reviewing copies. Each one I get assigned to. I make sure I buy.
You're better.
But I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. What happened to the old Count Crowley? What happened to him?
Yeah, is that gonna come back around?
I thought the drunk was that dude.
No, he's looking for him. He's looking for him.
Oh, he's looking for Count Crowley. Oh my God.
I think we're going to find out.
We'll find out next issue. I'm sure.
Yeah. I loved her breaking out of her. Like she was forced to be this person she wasn't, and she got this sort of freedom from playing that character.
Yeah, to be yourself finally.
I would have liked to see more of that, dude. Her being able to come out of her shell because she's taking on this role.
Yeah, she's finally doing it, and she's succeeding. Everyone loves her for who she is. She's like, it's a B movie. No one likes it. You know what I mean? She became like Elvira. You know what I mean?
Great. It was so cool.
Yeah, people love that stuff.
This hit so hard in a lot of spots. I'm willing to ignore the places that it missed because.
Agreed. Yeah. No, I'm in. I'm gonna read the next issue for sure.
Me too.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I started this as a negative review, but it's because I wanted to say my beef about it, and then but because I actually like it. You know what I mean? So it was a good story. I had a good time.
It was a weird book to read, man.
Fun time.
The art was good and bad.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was a weird book.
Yeah.
We're gonna rate it. Adam, you got anything? Adam, you got anything else to add?
No. Well, just that I think that this character has can get they can get a lot of miles out of her because she's entertaining, she's redeeming, I just think it's a good character that can carry a story.
It almost shows that they put so much work into the character that we all dig the character.
Yeah,
but they didn't kind of build the story. They spent so much time focusing on this character that we didn't get to the story.
I think it's almost like they I don't want to say. I was going to say maybe they rushed her to.
Well, they made her so compelling that we want to know more.
Yeah, well, they rushed her to the Count Crowley part. That
I don't think so. I think that was the best part of the book when she became that character. I think if they missed that,
no, I'm saying they rushed her to that. So they showed her bombing at her job, going home, seeing the overdue bills. It's like boom, 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 boom. Now she's Count Crowley.
Well, I mean, they had to. It's called Count Crowley.
Yeah, so they had to get there.
Right. But what I'm saying is that first part that it's almost like it's almost like showing people how the fudge is made when all they want to do is eat the fudge.
Possibly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we didn't need to see all.
Yeah.
I like to watch.
I do want to see some. I want to see some Count Crowley cosplay covers, like Vampirella or whatever. You know how they do like other stuff of the other properties. Like
Say that alliteration.
she's not like a sexy kind of cover. She's just like this like horror kind of theme. Is all.
But she's not ugly though.
No, not by Benese. But like let's do a Count Crowley cosplay cover for the next issue, man.
Nice.
You know why not?
Let's rate it. Gomer, you said
$2.99.
Yeah, $2.99.
I'm saying $2.99. Yeah.
Adam, what do you got?
Firm $2.99.
Same.
So firm.
I'm gonna say.
You want to cheat? Because I'm going to cheat. I'm going to say $2.49.
Oh man, what is up with you?
You started this
because I cheated that one day. You started it from now on.
Yep.
It's a bad precedent. It's a bad precedent.
It's not good enough to be $2.99.
Boogie.
It's not bad enough to be
No, it's definitely good enough.
Me
to
too.
be
Solid $2.99, man. Solid $2.99.
It's a solid $2.99.
Yeah, same.
If you
Agree.
do that, then
What's up, man?
Then I am rating it $3.49.
$3.49. What the
Whoa,
heck?
all right.
$8.
Oh, it's a solid $2.99 book, is what we're getting at.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
New comic book day.
Oh man, I didn't know that list. I have no idea.
I've got a good list. I got a solid
I
list.
never look at, dude. I'm always unprepared for new comic book day. God,
Do you guys want me to go ahead and spoil the book of the week poll right out
Do
of the
it.
gate?
Yeah. Let's do it.
The poll's already posted. You can follow us at ComicCast Pod on Twitter. The poll's up. Go vote. Joker Killer Smile #1 from Jeff Lemire.
Here's your winner, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope, it's neck and neck right now with Basket Full of Heads.
Oh
#1.
my
kidding
God,
me.
that's
Yeah,
This
Joe
is a
Hill.
great poll. We got Hellblazer #1.
Joe
Oh,
Hill.
Is
I
it
don't know about
Cy
that.
Spurrier?
I think
It's
so.
not got a single vote yet. And then we've
Ah.
obviously keeping that X-Minute thing rolling. Excalibur
Oh,
#1
good.
from
That
Tina.
Is
won't
it? I
win.
thought this
That
was
won't win.
DC's poll.
It
for a
feels
moment.
like it, man.
No, right now,
Each
Jeff
poll.
Lemire's Joker
said
Killer
poll.
Smile is going head to head with Basket Full of Heads. I'm reading
Man.
both, dude. Both
Oh,
of those
me
are on
too.
my poll
I'll
list.
read everything on that list.
Yeah, I meant to put this in our
I
chat, but
really don't care about Excalibur, but
here's the list of X-Men books coming out. But it says X-Men
Oh,
Dude.
that is cool, man.
Hickman, another level, bro.
Genius.
Genius.
It is.
I would also throw in you got Marvel Zombies Resurrection.
Yeah, I'm cooling on that book, man. I don't think I'm gonna get that.
Well, it says it's #1.
I don't think I'm getting that. No, they had that one shot or whatever that came
Yeah,
out.
Yeah, that's a while ago.
Cool
Yeah,
on
a couple
that,
months
man.
ago.
I don't know.
I'm caught up on Contagion finally, and that's okay.
Nah, I don't like that either.
There's
What
one
about-
more issue to go. One more issue.
Roku from Valiant.
Yeah, Roku, that is on my list. Colin
Val-
Bunn and Ramon Box on that.
New Colin Bunn book?
Yeah, it's on
Cool.
Valiant, Roku #1. So
Nice.
all
Oh,
kinds
that's
of action.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that. Okay, I'll
And you
check that
got
out.
Last God #1 from Philip Kennedy.
Oh,
Johnson.
that's Black Label, right?
Dude, man.
Right? Isn't that Black Label?
Yeah,
Right?
That Black Label.
That art looks so good.
fantasy.
The art looks
That's that fantasy
amazing.
book.
I'm not a
Philip
big
Kennedy
fantasy guy,
Johnson.
but like the art looks amazing, so I'm gonna read
That
that.
looks really good.
They also did Warlords of Appalachia. So
Oh, he's gonna just name off all the books, Adam.
and DC
Full Gomer.
Deceased #6 wraps up. So
Oh, wow. That comes out this week?
Oh, it's
Yeah,
done.
that wraps.
Oh
It's
man,
a huge week for me, man.
I've loved
Only
it, dude.
64
I love that
says-
series.
Only 64 says, Hell, brothers. To that I say,
Hell, brother.
Hell Hydra.
Transformers Galaxies 2, Tyler Blazinski, Livio Ramondelli. Harleen #2 by Steven Sedgwick.
Eh,
I got Safe Sex #2 on my list too by Tina
Did
Horn and
anybody
Michael
say
Dowling.
Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Death of Superman?
Oh, nice. Good
I
pick.
didn't
I
see
think I
that.
want to get all those after that first
Yeah,
one.
dude. Same.
I was
definitely
talking to
be
Big
getting that
Frank.
one.
I was talking to Big Frank this week, and he was like, dude, sign me up for all. That book was
Yep.
great. That first one
Yeah.
was so good.
It's like a dark what if. You got
Yeah.
the fusion out as the watcher, you know?
So good.
many good books dropping.
Yeah,
this week,
dude.
man.
So good. I think that's it. I think we're going to wrap up this episode of ComicCast, issue number 167. We still got a big group of people hanging out in the live chat. If you haven't done it yet, smash
y'all.
the like button. If you're here just because of Antonio, thank you.
Yeah.
I hope you'll come back and check out ComicCast again in the future. We try to give unbiased opinions. If you couldn't tell from the way the last hour went, we just
I can't
review
believe you
comic books
guys
and talk
don't like
about them.
G.I. Joe, man.
Shut up, Gomer. Jeez, I'll drop you out of this show.
Punch panel. He's so
Uh,
happy.
On a
Chris
side
Cross
note,
episode.
On a side note, any of our regular ComicCast listeners or anybody that's here for Antonio, go back brand. It looks so great.
Oh,
There's
yes.
a free 21-page preview. You can follow him at Akari Press. The links are in the description. You can read 21 pages of the book brand for free, and then you can go back at IndieGoGo. That link is also in the description. As cheap as I think, what was it, $5 or $10 for the digital company?
I think it's $5.
Yeah. One last thing before I forget. I'm sorry. But on Comic Core, one of our homies on Comic Core, his daughter is in the hospital. She's having a heart transplant, and so they've been doing comic book auctions on Comic Core. They had one last night, big success. I think they're having one tonight, maybe right now. I'm not sure. I haven't seen what's going on YouTube, other channels. But if you go subscribe to Comic Core, they also have a GoFundMe link, which I'm going to put in the chat right now, to donate to her heart transplant. So that's our Comic Core homie. I'm not sure if it's going to paste or not. It might be too long. I'll worry about that later. Maybe we'll put it in the description, or maybe I'll comment it in the video after it's done.
Make sure it's in the comments. Make sure it's in the comments for anybody that comes back later.
Right. So thanks, guys. Thank you so much for everything, and thank you for letting me talk about our homie's daughter's heart transplant as well.
No, I'll just say I saw that video the other day. They were live. I was going.
It's actually coming up. I'm seeing it. It's at 9 p.m. today.
Good. There we go.
Yeah.
So in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, go over to Comic Core, COMIC space CORPS, Comic Core, and buy some comic books for a good cause.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I was going to bed this week and saw that pop up, man, and it's heartbreaking. I can't imagine anything worse than going through what they're going through right now. And at the end of the day, I love Antonio, back his book, but sometimes health is more important, especially when you're dealing with kids, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
It sucks. So let's end this stream. You got 5 minutes. Get over to the Comic Core. Subscribe to their channel because they're putting up good content. But this cause is way more important than comic books. So go check it out. For Gaumer, for Jason, for Adam Wade Adams, I'm Boogie Bentley. We'll see you guys here next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.